Now, we are to talk about certain matter. I did not want this, but then somebody wants this. I'm gonna put it as a third person. I'm gonna say he rather than using the word you or I. I'm gonna say he. Now, who is he? His name is John. He's the one interacting with Hollywood stars. And what happens? What happens is what I'm about to say is we did talk about gamers, where they play the good and the bad. The actors, they're acting in there. In here, are they acting? Their fake skin is in here. But when they do act, it does not come out as an act, but it is real. But when it comes to us, we have a self-image in there. John has a self-image in there. And it is different from the face or the real mask. But it is carved out of his face. The problem is, he is dealing with killers. There are 3 killers. The names are, one is a singer, everybody knows it, Selena Gomez. And then, I don't remember his actual name, but his character name is Nick Fury in the movie Avengers. And then there is Matt Damon. These 3 are the killers. It has to do with picture effects, cinematic effects, and impossible frames. What happened is, how things are here. The self-image, the skin of these individuals, does it really matter? It's simply this. We get to hear their self on the skin of animals, fake skins. To say as an example, the character Thanos in the Avengers movie, he did talk with him. And they happen to be best buddies. They would stand together for war, for fight, whatever it is. They were there together. They both seem to have a big thing attached to each other. I'm talking about the Avengers movie. The Thanos, the character that they played. He did talk to him. How is it happening? Is it deceptive? It's not. There is no deception in there with the fake skins, with the fake characters. Even from the Tangled, the animated picture, Tangled, there are 2 characters, Rapunzel and him, the thief. Even we did talk with them. The conversation style is simply this. We don't have to say a word. No words are spoken. But then we all get to talk to each other. We all hear their self. We all talk to them through the shadows. No words are spoken. The communication is secret, but they do talk to each other. No words are there. When it comes to this, Selena Gomez, the singer, that self is separated into a lot. It has to do with the Avengers movie again. That picture. There is this baby version of Selena Gomez. There is the teenage version of Selena Gomez, and there is the normal version of Selena Gomez, where the self acts in a certain way, in real terms, and then there is this self that would appear to the public, and there is a dot eye of this. It's a black spot. When we hear that black spot, we get to hear a self in there. The thing about the self is, one in particular, simply this. The teenage version of Selena Gomez is, it's a mimic act. Everything we say and do should be mimicked, or it should be prevented. The kind of the kind of thread that self is in is, it is computerized. It might have a CGI thing in there. We get to we get to feel real. No, that self is all about humiliating us. It wants to make our life hard as it comes. It has this desperate thing in its heart that it won't let go. No matter what happens, that self won't let go of us. It wants to be cruel to us. There is Matt Damon, there's this character named Nick Fury. The two can be ignored to a degree. But what they brought out was a wrong thing to us. They still come out in a wrong light. Yes, they do. I'm not saying what it is about. But whatever it has to do with the deep fake, taking the self-image of another and doing a thing with it. It has to do with that. But when it comes to this Selena Gomez, we were hearing this self. We don't have a choice in here. We have to hear that self every now and then. We heard the reflection of this self in the mirror. The reflection of the self, not the appearance of its skin. If it looks cute or beautiful, no. We heard the reflection of the self. And then we came to a judgment. That self is a disaster. It's a tragedy, that is. A lonely soul, that is. And then the teenage version of the Selena Gomez. Its acts, this mock acts, turned into such a situation where that self has to face its friends or anyone, and they happen to hear a thing that we all saw. There is a thing that is loose on its head. We also said this. That self is prone to insanity. We thought of it and we took the self-image of that and we did put that self-image in different places and saw how it came out. Turns out like our judgment about that self was right. And there is also another thing. That self is a white. It says. But then every white-skinned individuals have a certain smell to it. They have a scent. But when it comes to this, we kept hearing this self, but we can't stop thinking to ourselves, how in the hell is that self a white? It's in the skin. It's in the voice. Yes, the self talks in the spirit. The self is from that place. But that self, it's in the voice. I'm not really sure if people get to know or hear the things that we get to hear. But whatever it is, our judgment about that self is simply this. And there is this wrong kind of judgments that we came up with. It is because of the way of her approach to us. The self is annoying as it comes. We say that self is a disaster. It's a tragedy. Yes, that is a judgment about that self. And then we say that self is a pig. A dead fucking meat it is. If we were to be real in our own skin, on our own skin, the last thing that she can do is pull these kind of things. There is also another thing. We happen to love these words. Again, it's a difficult thing to explain. It has to do. The actors who got into this world understands. They know it. There is an actor from TV. He got into this world and he said this. There's a thing about this word. I like to hear this word every now and then. It feels so good. It's like listening to music. It has to do with the place that we're in. And obviously, everybody is wearing a fake skin. But even though if it is fake skin, we get to hear their self. What kind of self-image? Then there are these perverted self-image. You get to hear these kind of characters in Hollywood pictures where the face of a human, the body of an animal, and legs of another. That's how things are. What I want to say is, we have decided to do an act, the final act. If we are doing this, it's because of that self. If it is that self won't let go of us. It wants us to live. And if you're living, we just have to deal with filth and ugliness. Basil, he's with me. He keeps telling me, dude, I feel like a pig. I feel like a trash. I just have to hear that self every now and then. That fucking pig. I don't want to live in this skin anymore. I want to get the fuck out. That's what he said. And that's that. That's the killer. If we are to get into the final act, it's not us. It is because of that one particular self we are to do that act. That self is the killer. And like I said, we didn't want to say this, but somebody wanted us to talk about this particular self. The name is Selena Gomez. And we will say this. That is a pig. Trash. What else? Dead fucking meat, that is. Yeah, about the teenage version of the Selena Gomez. The other version, a different thread of her was busy saying that we should humiliate the self, us. Even though when these things happen, they say it's kept in a box, a secret box. But even though this is how things are, that self was humiliating itself. It was lowering itself. John was returning the favor to. The self was getting a lot of hits from him. Be it words, be it bitch slaps, be it fantasy kind of treatment where he made up a new thing where he would put a finger inside her throat and then she will be still breathing and then will tell her to breathe. And she breathes and she dies. And guess what happens? She comes back again in that same clothes. That's the kind of thread that she is wearing. And it's not just a one-sided thing. Even we get heavy hits. We do these kind of things to the fake ones with these kind of threads, along with the play toy. There's that. We get hits, we return it. When it comes to us, it's a big hit. When it comes to them, they're all fakes, it's nothing. We happen to say it every now and then when it comes to certain fields, such as being in the skin, feeling the skin. It's filth and trash because of that particular self, Selena Gomez. Don't matter, every day we say this. If we could get rid of that self, any replacement would be great. We would go through all of this, but replace that self, not that self. That self is a tragedy, it's a filthy pig, not that self. Yeah. It's not just John. There is Basil. He's the one who feels this. It's his voice when he spits the low that is coming as a problem. We could never get it from this gadget. It never came out when he talks in the low spit. It's still in the shadows, it seems. When he talks in this spit, in English, the accent is different. Say, if you were to say a name, it could be a real lick that he knows. And the same name, when he's saying it with the low spit, the accent would be different. When he did talk in Arabic, his voice was heard. He was heard there too. As a matter of fact, I just have to add, he also have the same attitude towards that stuff, but it just happened recently. He just happened to love the words and tend to completely ignore that stuff. There is another killer, so as to say, from the real ex. Who is he? He happens to be a family friend. With their help, the guy is also doing what the pig from the other side is doing. The two seem to be in it together but kept separate. But in our world, the two seem to be working together and killing me and everyone that is close to me.
How are they killing us? It's not obvious. They just have to do a normal thing. That's all they gotta do. In between, they just need to emphasize on certain words. When they do it, we get to hear it. When we hear it, things happen. They do it with voice. In here, we say they're playing Floyd Mayweather on us. In here, we say they're playing Floyd Mayweather on us, where he throws out words and simply weakens his opponent. That's what they're doing here. They throw this low spit, and when that happens, when we hear it, the shadow makes our skin feel weak. The way we feel behind the skin. Our voice is there, but it would come with complications. They do this on a daily basis. They're just waiting for us to get up. The moment we get up, they start doing their thing. They'll be holding a gadget and they'll be throwing words, strangers, voices of strangers, from gadgets, random ones. It could be celebrities, it could be singers, it could be anything. They'll throw these words and we hear it, and these things happen. We try to get rid of them, but we try talking to them, to the ones, but they keep pretending as if they don't know what's going on. They just say, we're not doing anything, we're all acting normal. That's what they say. You're right, they're acting normal. That's the problem. We can't act any different, because if we were to, we would come out as insane. Yeah. Yeah. Their pigs are mostly fat ones. The voice of fishermen down here in this place, where they shout so loud so that everybody hears it. They use their voice. Fat ones. Mostly it's the fat ones, brown ones. Their voice have a shadow attached with it. It's when we hear it, it's filled. That is being filled inside. That's how they're killing us. By just their presence is all needed. They can bring out fake feelings. We are tired of feeling the feelings of another on our face and behind the skin. They don't seem to stop. They say they're going to take it to the extreme level. And that's why we decided to go for the final act. Hopefully, put an end to this.
Keep them deaf and keep them blind. That's how things are. In order for them to act the way they act, they gotta make sure they're deaf and they're blind to a lot of things. Thought I would just add that too.